Alright guys, how's it going? Flashpoint here. A lot of people ask me how I go about painting my eyes on the action figures. I don't currently have a setup that will, I guess, warrant me recording it, so I'm going to try and do it digitally first and see if like the concepts essentially can be transcribed that way, if you will. So as you can see, I have a pretty good, really good picture of a Luke Skywalker head in front of me. I've created a new layer just so I can draw on top of it. Um, and I will go into exactly what I do to paint. So we'll just zoom in to one eye here. All right. So don't whenever you're painting the white of the eye, a lot of people like to paint it with pure white, but our eyes aren't pure white, if you will. They're kind of like a gray color. So I'm gonna just choose a gray here. So this is how I go about painting my eyes, like the process of it. So I will fill all of the eye first with my color of choice, if you will. And I do this one with a Tamiya. Is it a Tamiya? Tamiya Ultra Fine brush. I want to say. I'll put a picture of it in the description, or I'll put a picture of it in the video, if you will. So, and I do this all with the same brush. So, I'll paint over. I'll fill in the eye with the white, um, and if it like if it you kind of do it like that, don't worry. Um, I can go over how to fix it later. But all right, you paint it white, and for this example, I'm gonna say the eye is we're gonna go blue. So how I do it is I will then pick a blue that I like. Well, the color of the eye. Let's say I want it to be like this light blue here. Well, the outside of the eye, I'm gonna make it a dark blue, and so then what I do is I kind of start like I guess if you zoom out. So I'll zoom out. So how I center the eyes is the corner of the mouth, if you will. So if you go to the corner of the mouth, you can have like this perfectly, essentially, uh, centered eye every time. So go to the corner of the mouth, draw an imaginary line up to your eye, and then that's where you want to center your um, iris, if you will. So if you're going to be a blue eye, just go for a darker color, or you can do black. Black looks good too. I just like to go for a darker color. That's my preference. And then I draw like a three-fourths circle. So, and how I do it is, not this. I'm trying to do it like how I paint it. So I put like this big dot here when I paint, just to like start it out with, and then I slowly, as I paint it, kind of build it up like this with my brush, if you will. So then you just fill it in. Don't worry again if like the paint gets on like the upper eyelid. I'll go over how we hide that. So and then you just paint this. You fill that main part of the eye in, and then you switch to your lighter color, if you will. Same thing. I kind of start in the middle, and then I just start kind of building it in back and forth. I'm trying to mimic how I paint this, so it's way easier with this Apple Pencil, but I'm just trying to get you the basics of how I do the eye here. All right. I do the eye like that, and then you go for the black for the pupil. And generally, I like to just kind of dot it. I don't build it out because it'll, at this scale, like the eyes will. I mean, the paint, the amount of paint will kind of bleed over into it, and then you'll have to touch it up. So I kind of just like try to dot it. I'm gonna try and replicate that. So when I place a dot, it's usually just like, and then I can, let's I'll center it, and then I'll just touch it up. So kind of like that. And then I take, in order to clean up the top of the eye, I take my Wargamer Psycho brush. I'll put a picture of it up. I'll put the Psycho brush, and I'll get it with black. And it's essentially like a mini liner. And then what I do is I paint the eyelash like this. The upper eyelash. And that really like fills in the eye, if you will. It really shapes it, because without it, it kind of looks a little off. Like the eyes will look good, but something about it will look off, and the eyelash is where that usually is. And then whenever you're done with the eye, I take the same wash that I use for the sideshow method, and then I put a dot. I put a dot like right there, if you will. And generally what that does, right here in your tear duct, when you put a dot, it'll then fill in the crease like this, and then it gives you that red under the eye. Now you can go however big or how small you want the eye to look. I just exaggerated it for tutorial purposes, if you will. And then that is pretty much how I just paint the eyes. I'll try to get a video of me actually painting it, but I just don't have the space. I don't have the room for it. But this is like, I guess, the steps that I take to paint an eye. And if you're really good, you can freaking, let's see, have a really thin brush. You can actually like do like the striations in your iris. I have yet to be able to do that at my scale, at the 1/12 scale at least. But yeah, just wanted to put together this quick little video just to show you the steps of how I go about painting an eye. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or just ask me or send me a message or whatever, and I'll try to help. All right, thanks.